You know the amazing feeling of leveling up in an RPG? You gain access to new skills, new equipment, and new areas. You're stronger and more capable of fighting higher level monsters. But once you exit the RPG, their levels don't translate to real life. Real life doesn't feel nearly as satisfying. You can't tangibly see yourself level up like in a game. And unlike an RPG, if you stop practicing a skill, it goes down over time. That's until I found a gamified task management app called Habitica. Habitica turns your life into an RPG by making your offline tasks, habits, and routines contribute towards your progress in the game. Over the past month, I tried it out. In this video, I will explore how it affected my productivity and attitude towards life. To give you an authentic experience, we're gonna go day by day through my experience using the app so you can experience the journey alongside me. Then I'll summarize my overall thoughts at the end. First day started on December 18th, 2022. I read a post from Reddit, the most reliable and inspiring of medias, of a player who made their Habitica experience more epic by creating a narrative for their Habitica character they could bring to their real life. So I created a narrative for my character. Naturally, I had to choose something from the Stormlight archives. Meet Quip, the World Singer Apprentice. Quip is a young World Singer Apprentice, storytelling bards that travel the kingdom of Roshar, telling others stories of various lands and peoples in order to fulfill the holy charge they believe has been handed down from the heralds to foster peace through understanding. On the outside, they're merely annoying jest and playwrights, but over time, their traveling experience gives them exposure to many cultures, ideas, and adventures. They become wise. And Quip hopes one day to stand up to the toes of the oldest and wisest of the world singers, Wit. Quip himself once said, "I am not a foolish jester or storyteller. I do not give tales. I spread knowledge of cultures, people, thoughts, and dreams. I bring peace through understanding. It is the holy charge my order received from the heralds themselves." Now, I know it might seem hard to look at me and see a flute-playing, magic-bustling, storytelling genius, but I promise you, he's in there somewhere. And it only gets better. I named all of my tasks, habits, and dailies around my creative narrative as well. One of my incessant bad habits is playing with my hair. So I named a negative habit associated with it called committing heresy against the heralds. Now every time I play with my hair, I have to touch the negative habit icon. I also have a bad habit of occasionally snacking when I'm not hungry. So I named one of my tasks eating creme. It's the sludge that gets left after a high storm in the Stormlight archives. It's basically mud, just like the snacks I would be eating. Finally, I changed my avatar to look a little bit more cool. Orange hair, red shirt. And Quip is riding a gosh darn griffin. I don't know where I got the griffin from, but that's besides the point. Day 2. I did one of my regular routines I normally would, which is writing Aiden's Infinite Play, my newsletter, but I noticed I stayed writing much longer than I usually would, like 2.5 hours instead of writing 1.5. I think it's because I had it under a daily as perform a story. It made it more fun. I imagine myself as Quip, performing in front of an audience and battling through the difficulty of writing. I also found out there's a reward section in Habitica where you can put down rewards to give yourself depending for coins. Of course, I put down video games and aptly named drinking creme water. More creme. After reading some information on gamifying lists from the Habitica wiki, I discovered you could create custom icons for all of your tasks inside the app. So I immediately tried searching up some images from the Stormlight archives, but they were all way too big to put into the task. Someone needs to make some Stormlight archives fan art, please. So I settled for going to the equipment table for Habitica online and copying the markdown image URLs from the website. For some reason, they were all massive as well. So I guess I'll just have to stick to emojis for now. Day 3, I went through some lessons in my Creatorpreneur course by Ali Abdal, a whole course about making your content creation side hustle more like a business. I went through a yearly and quarterly planning session and came out with 6 things that I would like to do by the end of the year. And naturally, I went into Habitica and named each of these things with epic sounding things. Revamp the World Singer Meetup Room, get glyphs for all the bridgemen, write Oathbringer, create a Bridge Q University, and create a World Singer University. Who knew I would be such a charitable education provider? Day 5, found out that while completing tasks, habits, and dailies, I was actually getting tons of drops like eggs, foods, and hatching potions. So naturally, I immediately hatched and equipped a royal purple dragon. I like to think it's Smaug from the Lord of the Rings when he was a baby. Like a baby who's tasted their first drop of sugar, I started hatching every animal I could get my hands on. I was addicted. Flying pigs, cactus, and then I got a bright idea. Why should I hatch the eggs for myself if I could just sell them into slavery? I sold all of the eggs for 3 gold each. You know, I was very tempted to give myself a reward and clean the creme off of me by taking a bath, but I decided to check the shop instead. Everything cool was way too expensive for me to buy, so I guess I'll just have to wait another day to satiate my hunger. Speaking of hunger, then I found out you could actually feed your pets. So naturally, the first thing I did was give my shade panda some rotten meat. I assumed that's what he would want most, because that's what pandas eat. Rotten meat. Day 7. I read on the Habitica wiki the importance of personalizing your tasks, Habitica, and habits and dailies to you. Someone might find brushing their teeth incredibly hard, whereas you find it super easy. So I decided to increase the pain of missing a daily. Losing health just doesn't really feel that dangerous to me right now. Such a unit of a human being, it's not even hard for me to beat bosses.
I'm like a god.
I just heal it back up the next day. I made a reward that's a little bit paradoxical because it's kind of a punishment, where if I miss a daily, I have to pay 10 gold. Day 10, one of my friends joined my Habitica party, which I of course named Google Stoop. Why not? This has brought a new feeling of accountability to my actions. I feel like I have to do my dailies, habits, and to-dos for the sake of my friend, because in Habitica, if you fail any of your dailies, not only do you take damage, but so does your friend. And this effect is even worse if you're fighting a boss. So similarly, if they heck up their life, I'll know. I always know. We decided to fight a boss together, the snackless monster. It's ironic because when I wrote these words, I was snacking, so I guess it's not so snackless after all. Day 12, I finally reached level 10, and that's when you unlock the ability to choose classes. 4 classes are warriors, mages, healers, and rogues. To help me decide, I looked into the playstyle of each class. Warrior's main stat is strength, which increases the chance for a critical hit and makes them do more damage to bosses. The problem is they're too direct and boring. I need something with more interest and skill. Healers max the constitution stat and reduce the damage for missed dailies and tasks. They also have skills to heal the party. Let me say this really clearly. Do I look like someone that struggles with doing their dailies? I am a god on this planet, a machine, an ethereal being of temporal energy and discipline. Get the healer out of my sight. Next, we have rogues, whose main stat is perception, which increases the amount of gold, drops, and equipment that you can get while playing. Money, sneak. I was very tempted, but then I saw the mage class. And the first thing that came to my mind was Gandalf. Gandalf and cool shooty magic thingies. And smarts. Lots of smarts. I was sold. Mage class it was. So naturally, the first thing I did after picking my mage was go put my 10 unallocated skill points all into intelligence. Because everyone knows the best type of human is one that is super intelligent but has no other skills for anything. Day 16, my party defeated the snackless monster, so naturally I immediately asked my beginner friend Tripledem to fight a 2-star boss with me. They have no idea what's coming for them. We're gonna fight the monstrous moon. My hope is that I can feed off my friend's corpse after they're sent to the nether realm. Day 18, I used some of my wizard magic to cast mystical fireballs at the monstrous moon, because apparently the more intelligent you are, the more fireballs you can throw. Just like in real life, my power is immense. I didn't explore it myself, but I read on the Habitica wiki that you have the option of using fixed character values to manually change game values yourself, which provides tons of customization. You can create your own skills, challenges, and classes. For example, there are unofficial names for players who swap health for mana through the fixed menu screen. Mage becomes a blood mage, a warrior is a berserker, a healer is a donor, and a rogue is a ninja. Maybe I'll explore it at some time. Day 22, I went on a winter camping trip with my dad, and I accidentally forgot to put myself in the tavern in Habitica, which would protect me from taking damage at not doing dailies and to-dos. So when I got back, I got slapped in the face with a ton of damage and mana loss. But then I remembered the ability to use fixed character values. So I went into settings, I clicked on the button, and I gave myself the health and mana, which I had lost. I'll admit, I was very close to giving myself 70 million gold last minute, but I managed to stop myself. I'll have to think of some cool ways I might be able to use this fixed value system to do things in the future, but that might be for another video. Day 25, I managed to rope my brother into joining our guild. Look at him. He's so cute. Day 31, last day of the Habitica challenge, and I found out that you can create challenges against your party. I knew that this would create even more accountability than just being in a group with my friends and brother. So I asked them what habits they were struggling with breaking and created a challenge around it. The most common bad habit was negative consuming of information. So I created this beautiful thing. You ever find yourself consuming too much uranium? Me too. In this challenge, we'll try and reduce our uranium consumption together. What counts as uranium? Any content consumed with no prior intention before going into it. If you have a good reason, then it doesn't count. For example, if you could consume news, if you intentionally consume a piece of news you want to be more informed about, or you could watch a video if it's to research for an upcoming script. But as soon as you see yourself losing the intention, you are consuming uranium. And just like real uranium, consuming garbage content leads to the slow accumulation of radioactive intellectual destruction that ultimately leads to your death. It's a beautiful challenge. Should you get Habitica for yourself? These last 31 days on Habitica, I gotta say, they've been a blast. It's been so interesting transitioning from a normal task management system like Todoist to a gamified one through the app. So should you get Habitica for yourself? I would encourage you to try it out. First, the creation of a narrative through coming up with my avatar quip gave me a sense of autonomy and personalization over my Habitica experience that I think new users should do as well. All of my actions felt more epic seeing them through the lens of my character quip. However, I will admit that the epicness of my narrative wore off over time as I settled back down into normal life. I don't know if it would stay for more months when I keep using the app. The gamified aspect of the app has given me tons more motivation than usual to stick to my habits and dailies. I've been long struggling to break this habit of playing with my hair, and literally the day I put a negative habit into the app to stop, I broke the habit. I haven't played with my hair since. In addition, having experience in gold rewards motivated me to do more things than I otherwise would have. Just like in an RPG, I could see my character leveling up, getting access to new equipment and pets, and gaining gold for rewards. I will say, however, that the actual task management screen of the app leaves a bit to be desired. One of the things that drove me crazy during that month was dailies exist on a set daily, weekly, or monthly schedule, and you can't schedule them for a one-off day out of the blue without changing the schedule. For example, if I can't write my newsletter on Monday because of time restraints, but will write it on Tuesday, I can't move the daily to Tuesday for a one-off time without changing its weekly scheduling in the daily screen. It also doesn't have a lot of nice integrations Todoist has with email and other apps. However, as a task management app, it's still quite good. Finally, the social aspect of adding my brother and friend Triple Gem to the guild was incredible. It brought a whole new level of accountability to my day when I knew if I failed a daily, they would be hurt as well if we were fighting a boss. And getting to cumulatively fight bosses was super fun as well. I cannot wait to explore the way challenges work with them through this uranium one and even more later on. The bosses were pretty easy, but I have a feeling that as I level up more and my brother and friend do as well, it will become more and more engaging to do all of your tasks, dailies, and habits, because you could literally die if you don't do them. Even though the month is over, I'm gonna keep using Habitica for the foreseeable future. While I might switch back to Todoist someday, I'm having so much time taking task management in a different way, and I encourage you to do so as well. Be sure to check out my 2-part series on how to gamify your life to enter flow more consistently. It goes into depth on how games like Habitica foster flow and how we can take insight from them to foster flow in our own lives. As always, have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.